Okay, here is everyone. Okay, this is Ravi with the leader inside you, wishing you happiness and success. And today, I'm not alone. I have the wonderful company of all these thought leaders who are with us at the leader inside you. And it's going to be fun-filled discussion. Hi, Anvita. Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Akash.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Sonia. Okay, so they have taken up, they have given us time today to showcase the thoughts and talk about interesting topic that always comes up, the fear that stops us everywhere from taking big challenges, big risks, reaching to a skip level, or asking for promotion, or even looking for new jobs. So there are lots of fears, right? These are just a few that pertain particular to our career progress. So today we are going to talk about, and they're going to talk about how they get over this fear. And one of the technique that we are going to focus on, whenever we surround ourselves by people who are courageous, who are brave. For example, simple example, when we see other people jumping in a swimming pool and they're having fun, then we say, okay, I want to jump too. So, and then that's what happens at the leader inside you also. Like when other people start doing, taking challenges, everybody gets inspired. So let's hear not success stories, experiences from all over these thought leaders from today, from yesterday, from their life, and wherever they are seen. So, any one of us can kick us off, and then I'll hand over mic to whoever who wants.
Yeah, so Ravi, this surrounding of people with yourself with successful people, I think that has been a very inspiring way of doing overcoming the fear. When I used to have a lot of self-doubt or beliefs where, you know, when I wanted to do something, but I had to stop myself, or the self-doubt or stop myself to even take some initiative. And then I used to think about like there are so many people in the company. How are they able to do it? And what's their motivation? What's driving them? And where the courage is coming from? Especially in the enterprise culture, when you have the hierarchical culture, you have to be politically correct, and also chart your way out. So that's where I found that the technique that we learned through you and through the course, that the leader inside you, you have to bring that up and make sure that you bring that courage up, and then you also see how the other people inside the company is doing that. And when you can correlate that that leader is, maybe they have their leader inside them, and that's bringing them courage, and they're not trying to um, undermine somebody, but they are trying to take it in a way that it it comes out as a positive aspect for the whole enterprise point of view. So that's where I could see that their courage is coming from, and they are not trying to be political. They're not trying to be undermining somebody. They're trying to just chart out their way in a way that it's sounding, or it comes out as a positive for from the bigger picture point of view, not just from their own self uh, aspirations or goals. But when it comes down to that level, then everybody tags along and they create that courageous culture that even if they have to face some hard pushbacks, they can really chart it out in a way that that doesn't have more roadblocks to them, or just clears those roadblocks. So I think that's where, when you surround yourself with those kind of people inside the company and you learn from them, and maybe you get some of the ideas from them as well, I think that's what I found the best way to, be courageous and take those bold goals. And slowly but steadily, you're going to achieve some of those bold goals that you're setting yourself for. So I think that's the way I've seen.
Courageous culture it is. I
Mhm.
love you, Gray. Yeah.
I
So
can
who?
speak a little bit about fear. Fear is there in everybody. So fear is something that it's an emotion. It's like happiness. You get that fear. So how I overcome fear. So obviously, when my self-doubter is pretty strong, especially after the course, after the program that I took. I think previously I was fearful for doing anything, even during presentations. I used to stutter, and I felt like I was not very confident. So then I realized my that was my monkey on my shoulder telling me, you just scared, you're just scared. So that's where the program, that's where we bring in our a leader inside us to just to you know just to bring that positivity. Yes, there is fear, of course, but then when we speak up during the time, that fear should go away or will go away. So that's where I kind of brought it in, and I started, even though that fear comes in, our leader just comes out and saying that, well, you can do it. That's not a difficulty at all. And also another couple of things that in our group chats also we have noticed that we always notice that not everybody is the first person to put in comments in there. So and after learning about all these, learning to overcome fear, I started to put some comments first, and then I see that's how I'm leading other people to actually put some comments in to show their thoughts towards this. And that's a bigger way to get people's mind out, and they really have really good thoughts in them. So uh, the best way to get things out of them is just to be a leader, and then being a leader obviously take away the fear, and then that brings the other people to come forward and then show them that how courageous we are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Leader is not about just talking, talking, talking. It's about helping other people also open up and give their chance. So people think that, executive presence means I need to be talking all the time. So beautiful point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love how she encourages everybody in the group, and we all have started chipping in more because of your encouragement. So, thank you, Soumya. I would like to say something. I like to discuss with the leader inside me a lot more, and I understand that this is a discussion, not a fear. So, what I'll do is, I'll first of all, my inner leader tells me, "Are you okay now? You have this fear, you have all these things, but are you okay now in this moment?" And the answer is always yes, I'm okay. And then I realize, yes, this discussion tells me I either have certain memory that triggers and creates a fear, or I'm so imaginative, I'm creating all these negative kind of scenarios that are scaring me. And I realize I am really creative. So why not use this creativity in something positive that will work for me rather than against me? And that discussion with my inner leader tells me what's going to happen if you try to stand for yourself and put your point. Let's try. At the most, you're going to be more scared, or it might work. Just give it a try. And I saw that when I tried, actually, it worked in my favor. And that created more courage, more strength in me to stand up for myself, to speak up, and to express myself positively. And things are really changing for me. So it is working.
Yeah, I would definitely echo with what Anvita said, that I used to not speak up at all with the thought that there's going to be a fear, and if I do talk, then what's going to happen. But I think with this training, the positive side that came out was, okay, what will happen? You will get something, maybe an answer as a no. Okay, so what? So that brought out the courage that, okay, don't stop yourself. At least go and talk and make your point. What worse can happen? It's going to be shot down, or that's okay. I think that was a very key point to bring that courageous self outside, and just go and at least make a point. And you never know, it's going to be taken positively as well. And if you had not spoken, then what would you have lost uh, if somebody still supports you? So I've seen those instances where I have taken that courage to speak out, and they have turned out to be pretty positive, which I was never expecting at all. So I'm glad that I did it. So I think those are some of the things that that self-doubter and making up your own negative stories is you shouldn't fall into that trap. You should always come out and have that courage. So that's what of my main learning, that how you can get over the fear and
Mhm.
not have that negative feeling. Just go for it.
Worst thing is not speaking up sometimes, right? So
Exactly. Yep.
what
Yeah.
worse can happen than that? That's a good
So,
point.
yeah, this is Akash. So the way I think about, speaking or not speaking is a choice you make, right? What you bring to the table, let's say, if you have a good idea, it has a value, or whatever thought or suggestion you have, if you believe within you that, yeah, I'm like, what you are going to say makes sense, right, in general, and is going to benefit someone, or whatever the topic at hand, or whatever is going on, uh, why not? If you have something valuable to offer, why not? I'm like, otherwise, think of in a this way, that if you don't offer it, maybe not only you lose out, because you are not getting that opportunity to showcase the person inside you, the thinker inside you, what your thoughts are, what your ideas are. Also, maybe if that thought stays within you, it doesn't become an action, it doesn't go out of your mind, right? It stays in, and it goes away, right? So ideas, anything that you start, the whole point of creativity, or discussion, or any philosophies that have come out so far, what would happen, right, if they just stay as a thought and don't come out, right?
Yeah, and then you're pushing yourself as into that bigger challenge, that the thought comes out, and if it's taken positively, and maybe you'll get those bigger opportunities because of that, because you brought it out now because it's your thought. The leadership may want you to lead some of those ideas or initiatives, and that is where you can promote yourself and get into the visibility, and also get the leadership opportunities within the organization where you can make bigger impacts. So you can see it's a ripple effect, that you have the courage, you make a point, it's heard, and then and you get opportunities too for that.
I like the point Akash made. It's not about just you. It's benefiting other people.
Right.
That idea. Why didn't you tell me? It was such a cool idea. I've listened.
Hey, Ravi. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I joined late. I'm guessing the topic of discussion is about overcoming the fears
Yeah.
in a group, right?
Yeah.
One thought came into my mind as I heard is getting prepared for the talk, right? If we know there is a meeting happening in advance, and if we have all the ideas or the points that needs to be discussed, one technique that I adopt is practice. Practice in front of a mirror, anticipate the questions that comes up. I prepare the answers. That's one technique that I use. Get well prepared in advance.
Yeah.
That's an excellent suggestion that you made, plus, and I think that's actually that is the way we overcome the fear too. Like if it's a presentation that you want to present to your bosses, then obviously we have to be planned pretty well. We had to practice pretty well, get those words in our mouth, and like you said, or in front of the mirror, just practice. So that way, you know what you're talking about. You know exactly, you will also anticipate the questions that might come into you, and then you'll be prepared for the answers too. So I think that's a great point that you made to, you know, fear, yes, it's there, but then how are you going to overcome it, right? So obviously in presentation, you just practice.
Yeah. So
Other
speaking.
point is,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Uh, yeah, other point that came into mind is getting yourself involved, or whatever the chance that is in front of us, just get submerged into that. Even I see this as a chance. right? This discussion as a chance. Then whatever nowadays, whatever I'm doing is get whenever I see a meeting, I just join. I see what is the topic of the discussion, see how I can be of use or value to that discussion. Gather some information quickly. We might not get much time to prepare, but whatever we can prepare, get matters prepared, jump into that discussion, see how we can be of value. So that's a practice ground for us. Every other meeting is a practice ground. That's what I how I see it nowadays.
Right.
One thing I have also noticed is that first I used to like chasing perfection and I used to compare myself with that perfect me. And I always felt that this is not the right time to speak, or I need a lot more practice, or it's gonna take years before I reach there. And now I started realizing that I'm okay with my imperfections. It's all right. And I see that in others as well. And that is very attractive actually. I can connect a lot more to the people who are not just perfect, but they have slight imperfections of their own. And that connection is what that bond is so strong that leads to a growth and progress for everybody, not just me, but for my colleagues or people around me. So I think I've learned that to overcome that fear of imperfection and just be okay with it. And it's really beautiful that way.
Um,
This is Akash again. So one principle that at least that works for me when you talk about just be able to express yourself or what your convictions are or what you want to convey, right? Is that being present in the moment, right? If you have too many different things going on, I don't know. I'm like, so I don't know how much preparation you do. There have been times in the past that, I've prepared quite a lot, right? But again, it's a script. And what if you, you know, forget your script, right? Whereas if you really truly speak from your heart, that you truly, I mean, what you are saying is truth, right? What the facts and the figures, everything you have in your mind, and you are in the present moment, you will. At least I have seen that if I'm in the present moment, I am totally in the present moment. I can connect with the people in their minds. I can engage very well, understand, anticipate what they're going to say next, and have my even answers ready. So that whole anticipation aspect, that only happens when you are living in the present moment. That means you have a very clear mind, and leave it to the mind. I'm like it becomes your friend in getting those answers to whatever is being thrown at you. And you have everything there in your mind, unless it's something that you don't know altogether. Then you can just simply say, hey, I don't know, I'll have to go back and look for the answer.
mm, that is true. And that's a big thing, right? Being in the present moment. And that's where all the mindfulness comes in, giving workout to our brain. That's a great point. Are there a lot of people come to me and asking, oh, what I fear is that I'll speak up and people will ask me questions, and what if I don't know the answer?
Right.
So, how do you guys deal with that?
So if I mean, it's okay to say that I don't know, right? So
Mhm.
it's if you don't know, truly don't know the answer, you cannot make it up there. So you're not you don't want to be
Right.
making up stuff there. So you want to say I don't know, and I will get back to you once I research. I'll research and I'll
Right.
get back to you. That's a perfect answer to say. So nobody's going to be upset with you or going to get mad with you. So that's how I would go.
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah, I think the mindset there is that the other person is trying to learn as well. So if you don't know, which is fine, but the intent is to get okay what they're trying to learn and they need more information. Maybe they don't have time to do that, but and that's why they're asking. So you don't have to have a thought of fear that, oh, if somebody asks me something, what if I don't know? It's perfectly okay because they're just trying to learn like you, and maybe they are not in the position or they don't have time to go and look for that information, and that's why they are looking at you to provide that information. And then it you can see it as an opportunity. Oh, then I'll have an opportunity to go and maybe talk to a director, and he's trying to find some information. So you're going to make that visibility or connection that way. So that's the other aspect to overcome your fear, change your mindset completely, and that's how you should see these kind of tiny opportunities. Maybe it doesn't look that big at that moment, but
Mhm.
when you go take a step back, then you will see that, hey, you have an opportunity to make yourself more visible and just get rid of that fear completely.
Yeah. And speaking of tiny, there is nothing tiny. Like even this coronavirus, right? It's the tiniest thing possible. So then nothing can be tiny. Can have a huge impact. That one small incident could be have a positive ripple effect on us. Yeah.
One more point I want to add is that it's okay to be wrong, right? Sometimes I go and on a weekly leadership meeting, I'm presenting my status. There are like 5 slides, and each slide has, bunch of data, bunch of status, bunch of dates, right? And sometimes, there are other people or other leaders who are looking at your status, and some of them, they may be your competition. They may just simply want to put you on the spot. They'll say, okay, hey, Akash, you put that date. Are you sure about that? I thought that this was something else. And I look at that and I realize that, yeah, I made a mistake. That's truly is stated wrong. And I say, hey, such and such, yeah, you got the right point. I mean, you got it right. I am wrong, and I'm going to fix it, right? So it's not about the again the mindset thing what we talked about previous gentleman, that if you have the growth mindset that you are going with your best intentions, you are presenting to the best of your knowledge. And because the status reports typically I create, I know each and everything about what I'm presenting, so I can defend whatever is shared on that on the screen, right, or on a shared screen, right? And it is okay sometimes that you make a mistake or you don't know. It may not be your status. Somebody gave you that. You just simply aggregating it and just simply presenting it. And yeah, it's okay. I have done it. So if someone says that, okay, hey, all right, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. You got it. Yeah, I'm like, you got it. I am wrong. And hey, yeah, let me get back to you. Let me reach out to the person and really understand what this is, and I'll come back, right? So
Oh,
that's okay. And it's okay to make that mistake in that growth mindset, that you go out, you do your best, and if something doesn't work, you learn from it, and next time you try to fix it, right? That's all you can do.
right. Yeah.
Very true, Akash. That's a very important point you mentioned, that do your best and then leave the rest. Because fear is not a one time deal. It is going to happen forever throughout our life in throughout different situations. So all we have to do is, did I do my best in the given situation, and then just leave the rest. It's absolutely okay and normal to make mistakes and learn from it and grow. That's what's the most important thing here is.
Mhm.
Mhm. That is true.
Totally agree to both of you. I think it's a really key point for success there. So obviously fear is there, but then and it's okay to do mistakes. But what is not okay is not learn from it. So it should always be learning from your mistakes and improve on it. That's how we grow.
Yeah. That is wonderful points.
And the other side to that is you can also see how some of your other colleagues or maybe some of the leaders within the organization, they handle those situations, and maybe learn from them too. Like, okay, it happens. How do they do it? So that you're surrounding yourself with those kind of courageous leaders or group of people, and that'll add to your experience, uh, even when you're not making mistakes. So you don't have to learn from just from your own mistakes, but also observe and keep that thought, your mind open, that and observing all these things while you're present in the moment or in some meetings or wherever you are, and leverage on their experience as well. So that's how I would say that you surround yourself with those kind of people that will be a catalyst to your growth, and then you're learning from not just your own mistakes but also from other people's experience.
And if you don't have it, you create your own group, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe find your friends who are like super motivated, or of course they can come in this group and get surrounded by amazing people here. And it's very fascinating, right? All of you, your energy, your transformation is getting surrounded by other people, because new people are coming in the program. They always watch you guys, and they say, "Oh wow!" So, and that's what that was one of the point for this discussion was how we are looking at other people. We are human beings who look at other people. I can do it. I can do it. So either get into this group or find those people. Have There is one interesting saying that we become what we have coffee with on a daily basis. So just have making that conscious efforts. Great. So this was a great conversation. So anybody would like to summarize and to in this beautiful discussion?
I can summarize a little bit.
Sure.
I
Hmm.
I just noted down a couple of points in here. So so a couple things is how we are going to overcome the fear, right? So it's a couple of things are like how just speaking up during a meeting. So just the inner leader just trying to tell you that okay, it's okay to be fearful, but then you speak up, and that's how other people will learn and then understand from you. And then be in the present moment. So that's another thing that Akash actually mentioned, or Abhishek, both of you actually mentioned that. So just being in the present moment and being able to speak up your mind, just not be fearful and just speak up your mind. And then Blessed mentioned about preparing yourself. So preparing yourself about like a presentation, just prepare and then just get your fears off of your mind and be prepared and just present whatever you think you will be beneficial for your audience. And then and then somebody also mentioned about like I think Ravi you mentioned like what was going to happen if like I'm in a presentation and then I don't know the answer for a question that somebody asked, and it's okay to say that you don't know. And it's okay to it's also okay to be wrong, but then it's you correct yourself by looking up more data or things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think.
Yeah.
We had a good discussion. This is what.
Right. Perfect. You captured the key points very nicely. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So it was a great discussion, and I hope for the wider audience who is watching on this Facebook Live, if you have any questions, you can post in a comment, and we will try to answer those later. Also, if you have any questions, and then we will see you as a Facebook Live maybe next month sometime again with this all these thought leaders and new thought leaders, and keep inspiring each other and get surrounded by amazing people. So wishing everybody happiness and success, and we'll see you again.